I've loved Star Wars for so many years now. I love so many of the novels in the original and prequel trilogies, but ever since Disney purchased Star Wars, there has been such little to look forward to with the franchise. The sequel trilogy was garbage. Individual movies like Solo are disappointing. Shows like Book of Boba Fett are mediocre, and I'm still hopeful for some reason that they'll turn around what they're putting out, but in a not surprising turn of events, the new Star Wars hotel attraction, Galactic Starcruiser, isn't getting the reception that Disney thought it would. I have a bunch of things to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month or supporting the channel via YouTube memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So I wanted to start off with this boingboing.net article. Windowless bunker. Reviews are in for Disney's $5,000 Star Wars hotel. And at first, I think a lot of us were like, okay, a Star Wars hotel. That doesn't seem that bad. A lot of people like Star Wars. They're always looking for some new kind of attraction to make, and it didn't sound like that bad of an idea at first, but of course it's Disney, so we knew that it probably was gonna go wrong in one way or another. The price is wrong, the look of it is wrong, all of it seems terrible now though. So it says, thinking about maxing out your credit card and spending years to pay off a 2-night stay at Disney World's new Galactic Starcruiser hotel? Then you should read the reviews before you make a reservation. Oh my god. When I heard the price initially, I couldn't believe it. I was like, there's no way that they're charging $5,000 for a mediocre experience. But of course, they are. The price is insane. And you're getting so little. You're only getting 2 nights stay at this hotel. So, it says reviews so far are generally positive. Particularly praised are the character actors who carry the experience, with a few caveats. Because the hotel itself, called the Halcyon, is supposed to be a luxury cruise ship in space, the biggest complaint is that the rooms are small and cramped. When I saw the photos, I couldn't help but laugh because I am someone who loves Star Wars. This is something that they should be marketing to someone like me, someone who loves Star Wars, knows so much of the lore. I can't get enough of Star Wars when the content is actually good. And this just looks like such a massive joke. Standard rooms have a queen bed, bunk beds, and an additional pull-out sleep space, which means it is theoretically able to sleep 5 adults. This doesn't sound that bad, but most reviews agree that it would feel tight even with 3 people, especially considering the bathroom only has a single sink. And unlike other luxury hotels, there are no typical amenities like a pool or a spa. It says the Halcyon's interior scale just doesn't match up to the grand ship shown in marketing materials. I expected the atrium to be taller, the banquet hall to be wider, Polygon's Charlie Hall wrote. Liminal spaces like hallways and stairwells feel particularly sterile, like wandering around a suburban junior high school built in the mid-1970s. The staterooms are also entirely too small, falling somewhere in between the narrow cabins of a Disney cruise ship and a basic hotel room in a Disney World Resort hotel. Disney went all in on an experience that seemingly puts only the wealthiest guests inside a windowless bunker for 2 full days, said Disney Food Blog on YouTube. Now, there are a lot of positive reviews about this so far. Of course, take all of these reviews with a grain of salt because they're coming from people who were given free access, who were given this experience for free to simply review. But even places like Polygon and Disney Food Blog are raking it across the coals, saying it's terrible. This is not what you want to hear. A windowless bunker. That is the worst possible description that you could give something. If I was someone who was looking for a hotel room for a couple of days, I wanted to have the Star Wars experience, I would steer clear of anything that was called and described as a windowless bunker. Now, I wanted to show off this article. It says new photos provide embarrassing look at Disney Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser. I personally didn't think the concept arts looked that bad. They looked very large, though. Like, everything was just gonna be much grander. But of course, Star Wars fans end up getting screwed over again because it is such a low quality experience. It says, taken by a number of press members and influencers invited to experience the attraction ahead of its official March 1st opening, videos recorded within the actual hotel began to hit social media on February 25th, the day the review embargo of Galactic Starcruiser was lifted. Of course, press members and influencers, aka the people they thought were going to shill for this new attraction. It says, while these videos were allowed to be published in an effort to drum up hype for the hotel, unfortunately for Disney, they instead show an experience that could stand to disappoint even the most dedicated of sequel trilogy fans. It's so disappointing that every time they touch Star Wars, they mess it up. They can't even do a Star Wars themed hotel properly. Never mind movies and TV shows and actual content. A little later in the storyline, as recorded by Sky Talker's pod, Kylo Ren menacingly appears before guests, only to be confronted and met in a duel by Rey. As seen in the footage, though supposedly one of the highlights of the attraction, this moment instead comes off as tired with hardly any energy emanating from the performers. And I understand performers have their off days where they're not doing as great as they could, but at the same time, this is for press and influencers only. You'd think they would try their very hardest. This is the very beginning of this attraction, but no, they put in the least amount of effort as possible, just like Disney did, let's be honest. Of course, this lack of quality even extends to guest accommodations, as according to photographs, even rooms that are meant to accommodate multiple children and adults are a little bigger than those found at budget motels. And don't get me wrong, like, the theme of this doesn't seem bad. If these rooms were like double the size or triple the size, hey, I think a lot of people would be into it. They don't look that bad, but it's the size that's the problem. I mean, these rooms are tiny. They are tiny. If there were 5 people in here, you wouldn't have anywhere to walk around. There's nowhere to store your items. There's like no space at all whatsoever. This, in my opinion, is nowhere close to a $5,000 price tag. It is just not worth it in any way possible. I understand that in the main social activity areas, you have performers, it is Star Wars themed, but there's no way for $5,000 you deserve a room this small. I honestly just wish that Disney would take a step back and actually create good content for Star Wars fans, whether that is an attraction or a TV show or a movie. Instead, they are just looking at Star Wars fans, seeing dollar bills, and milking us for all that we're worth. I wish that this would have went way, way better. It sounded like a cool concept, but it is an absolute disaster for Disney at this point. But that's all that I really had to talk about in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.